Are you planning to come back to the country if the situation improves?
Never. I can never come back to South Africa. Never.
Been attacked, and I had to come to the embassy to seek shelter. I have to come to the High Commission to seek shelter, which I've already explained. The first one was on the 1st May in Joburg, where I had to run because I was going to eat our local food.
628 million just in the month of February. Access of how much did Ghana get out of South Africa? We got 2.9 million. So the trade deficit between Ghana and South Africa is close to 625 million rands per month. Look at how much they make in a year. So if you say that let's go and fix our economy, so if we decide to take over those businesses as Ghanaians, South Africa loses 626 million rands in a month.
So now the Ghana High Commissioner in South Africa is set to evacuate about 800 Ghanaians from South Africa to Ghana. This is happening because of the xenophobic attacks or the Afrophobic attack in South Africa. We all know what's happening and it's sad, but some Ghanaians who are part of these 800 people are sharing why they want to leave. And also the ambassador, that's the Ghana ambassador to South Africa, is also sharing some insight on the situation. And we have a couple of people, there was another person, another Ghanaian that also thought they were called at the airport to just get a flight and just come back to Ghana. All these people are speaking. I don't want to talk much. Let's go into the video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up, comments, subscribe, and share.
Yes, that's why my earlier statement said I'm not being polemical to the plight of South Africans. Of course, if there are some jobs that South African feels are for the domestic base, that is fine. My bone of contention is the pattern. There should be a diplomatic way that issues should be handled. Ordinary citizens cannot mob up and attack me because I'm from another country. We also have foreigners in Ghana who are doing, for example, in Ghana, foreigners who engage in some industries are supposed to be in certain, like wholesale. You can't sell, and sometimes you see people breaking the law. But I can't organize the boys from my hood and go and attack such a person.
No.
Right now.
It's the job of the immigration, it's the job of internal affairs. I don't have confidence in the safety of my environment because there have been 3 incidents where I have been attacked and I had to come to the embassy to seek shelter. I have to come to the High Commission to seek shelter, which I've already explained. The first one was on the 1st May in Joburg, where I had to run because I was going to eat our local food. The second time was closer to the Jabulanimo. The third time was in Middlesex. And I cannot sit and wait till it's more dangerous. It couldn't be any dangerous. In as much as I came here to do my sport business or what have you, I can't risk my life in exchange for that.
How many years have you been in South Africa?
Never been even up to a year, just 9 months. But I don't feel safe, so I have to go home.
And you came into South Africa. How did you come in? Did you come in with the visitor's visa? What documents did you come in with?
I am legal per immigration. I am legal. So
Yes, I understand that you're legal, but what sort of documents do you possess?
yes, the documents that immigration allowed me at Ora Tambo. Yes.
Which was a visitor's visa?
Sorry?
A visitor's visa. Was it a visitor's visa? Were you given a visitor's visa when you arrived in
Yes, of course. Of course.
And were you then given a business permit when the time came for you to start the business that you wanted to start?
I've not started a business.
So you said you came here to start a business. What business?
I came here for sports. Yes, but I've not landed any job yet. Yeah, so I was still hunting, but I don't feel safe, so I have to go back home. Yeah, so it is what it is. It's sad. I understand that South Africans might have a genuine concern with regards to illegal migrants and what illegal migrants may have been doing to their community. But my point is, whatever they intend to do, they should engage people diplomatically. You may have genuine concerns, but now the manner in which you approach your concerns now becomes a problem. Now I don't have confidence in the safety of my environment, and I'm not the only one. you cannot be living in fear. I'm here legally. I'm conducting my sport business, and people who know me know I've been to a lot of countries. But it's quite unfortunate that South Africa has to be the country where I feel very unsafe, and it's only prudent that I go home and re-strategize and see what the options and opportunities are for me, and then I'll forge my way forward.
I'm a Ghanaian living in Pretoria. I come to Ghana High Commission this morning to say to be evacuated to Ghana. So I wanted to just say the government is doing well to facilitate our going back home. We are very grateful for that. We want to thank you all for your prayers.
The government of Ghana is helping us to go back home. We appreciate and we thank the government for putting more measures in for us to go back home.
There is no place like home. We came to this country with the intention of greener pastures, but then we realized that there is nothing much here for us. Coupled with rampant or constant xenophobic attack and other things that comes along staying here, I felt it is better for me to go home. Right now, I am not in danger, but you see, life in Johannesburg is a risk, because even if you are not in danger from xenophobic attack or the riot, there are a lot of things. Like people can come into your house and point a gun at you and rob you. Even in the street, you are not safe. There is a saying, or there is a proverb, that if you see someone's cheeks burning, you have to protect yours. So I know that as it is going on round, I'm not safe. I think the system has failed because they are angry because of the failed system. Yes.
Are you willing to come back to the country? Are you planning to come back to the country if the situation improves?
Never. I can never come back to South Africa. Never.
We say illegal. What do you mean? We need to. It's a term that we need to discuss and define, because you have people from Ghana who have been in this country with work permits 4 years, 5 years down the line. They go renew it with Home Affairs. I know a lot of them. Out of the list, we have about 30, 40 of them who we have found that they genuinely submitted their documentations for renewal, but the Department of Home Affairs is still working on the process. And when we ask, they tell us that it's a cumbersome process which we have to agree on. These are people that have small businesses, the salon business, the mechanic businesses and others. So it's a close mix of people who are here genuinely trying to make ends meet. And for your information, these are people who also work with South Africans. So we see that there should be a balance when it comes to these things.
So are you going to the Africa Day celebrations in the Northwest tomorrow? Also, just can you give us a ballpark figure of how many Ghanaians are actually in South Africa, whether legal or illegal?
We have close to about 16,000 Ghanaians in this country. Out of the 16,000, we are getting close to 1,000 people who want to go back home. We've registered 810 currently. We continue to register them, and like I indicated, most of them are in this country legally. Others, their papers got expired and it's not been renewed. I think that the discussion should be about how we grow as a people, as a continent. We are not saying that illegal immigration is not a problem. It's a huge problem, but the approach to which we want to solve it is what we have. You've heard the President of the Republic of South Africa speak to that issue and said, stop the xenophobic attack. You've heard the police commissioner saying the same. The Minister of Police has said the same thing. I've heard other top South African politicians who have said the same thing. Let's get to how we'll solve this problem, but let's not take the laws into our own hands.
And are you going to the Africa Day celebrations tomorrow in the Northwest?
Because of this exercise that we have, I'm sure that it might take a bit of time for us to resolve this matter. But indeed, if I am not going, I'll delegate somebody from the mission to us.
And then the foreign minister, the Ghana foreign minister, was here earlier this week. Is he still in the country? And did he meet with the South African counterparts?
He came on a very private visit. He didn't come to meet any South African actor. He came to meet us so that we could map up what we have to do. That should show you that Africa. He's a concerned person. He wants to see whether the Ghanaian people are in good health, the Ghanaian people economically, we've been able to take care of them. He came to give directives as to how he wants us to operate and how he wants us to carry out this evacuation. And I think that it's a plus for us to know that we have a foreign minister who the president had asked to come here specifically just to come and help in this repatriation process.
You've specified. Oh, sorry, am I jumping someone?
Yeah.
No, you can go, guys, because I've been asking.
We just want to find out, Commissioner, you've spoken about the statements that have been made by various ministers or in the presidency, but we'd like to find out from you, dialogue does take time. What are the tangibles that you'd like to see right now? As in, what would you like to see happen to the likes of Jacinta Nizwe and those who are leading these protests and also assaulting foreigners in the street? What immediate tangible would you like to see on your behalf of the Ghanaian?
I think the vitriolics have become one too many. I think you've heard people use very unprintable words. The March for March group, the Dula group, calling other leaders, for example, they call our president not to be a serious person. This kind of vitriolics is what we are trying to avoid. We're trying to say that, look, the tangibles, we are not asking for much. We are saying that let's treat each other well. If there's a Ghanaian in this country illegally, there are mechanisms that we use to get those people out. You don't get people walk on the street, people who have no knowledge about immigration activities, going to people's shops, asking them to close down their shops and all that. The tangibles are that we've seen government with the statement that it issued, but they need to crack the whip. That is the only way that we believe that this matter is being solved. I am not giving timelines because I don't know how your government wants to deal with it. But the timelines I can give is that my government back in Ghana believes that let the people that feel vulnerable, that feel dejected, that feel that economically they have gone down, come back home. And that is exactly what we're doing.
You're very concerned with the AU with regards to this matter, but are there any conversations that you're having with the South African government with regards to dealing with this issue? I think we've had very fruitful meetings with the South African authorities, and let me admit that the South African authorities have been so welcoming, they've been so forthright with us. In fact, this screening that is happening, without them we wouldn't have gotten it done. So for them, they say that, look, let's solve this immigration problem together. How do we do it? If we are taking close to about 1,000 people out of this country, economically, you're giving another 1,000 breathing space to governments to be able to take care of the South African people. I think if we had these discussions this way, we wouldn't be getting here where people want to take the laws into their own hands.
High Commissioner, just on another note, have you been a victim of any xenophobic violence?
Well, I think it's not in my place to say it here. I know that there have been vitriolics thrown at me. There have been people who have wanted me out of the country, saying the way we are approaching things, we are disgracing South Africa. When our minister went to the AU with asking them to table this whole issue about xenophobia, I saw the vitriolics on the system. Everybody was calling us name. But I think that in running away from the problem, that is why we want to go after people and accuse them of things that they are not doing. I am here, I am focused. I believe that we can resolve this matter diplomatically. I believe that realistically we've started the process of resolving these issues. I can tell you that 90% of the Ghanaian people feel unsafe, and that is why we are taking this process.
They feel unsafe, 90%?
Yes, they do feel unsafe.
16,000?
Yes, they don't feel welcome.
Is 16,000 a correct number?
It's a correct number. Okay. The last time we did, that was last month, we did a database collection of all Ghanaians in this country, and we had the 16,000.
The South African government and South Africans are saying this is basically anti-migration protest. They're not labeling it as xenophobia. Are you saying this is a xenophobic attack? Well,
if you look at the statement President Ramaphosa released, if you look at the statement that the Minister of Police released, go read the statement. It talks about xenophobic attacks. Let's not try to look for friendly words to use. These are xenophobic attacks. These are attacks by people who are not law enforcement on other legitimate foreigners who are in their country. It is xenophobic because they are doing it because they are other black. Have you heard anybody chasing British officials in this country who are illegal? No, they don't do it to any other person. They do it to their own black African brothers and sisters. So this is what we all need to condemn.
And how are people feeling at home? I mean, as citizens feeling at home, Ghanaians feeling at home, with regards to what's happening here?
Everybody has got how they want to take issues. The Ghanaian government keeps on telling them that we don't want retaliatory measures. We don't want anybody taking their own hands in Ghana, doing ABCD just like it's been done in South Africa. Why are we doing this? South Africa has got business interest in Ghana. Ghana has got business interest in South Africa. If we want to allow our people to go through these retaliatory processes, trust me, we will never be able to resolve this matter. Government keeps on speaking to the Ghanaian people back home that take your time, we are resolving the matter. but the people in Ghana are equally not happy about how South African protesters have been able to handle this matter.
Michael, you've alluded to having some of the people that are going to be leaving illegally in the country, you said illegal immigrants. Can you tell us how many of the people that are leaving did not have the right documentation?
I think with the first 300 that we have, with almost half of the number of people who don't have documents. When I say don't have documents, we have categorized it to mean that even if you've submitted your document to Home Affairs and you've not received it, it means that you are still not in the South African system as being legal. We don't blame it on the Ghanaian people. You blame it on Home Affairs. You ask them, well, how long will it take to make a decision? I can give you 10 documents of Ghanaians who had 4 years visas, permits to work here. After it's expired, they went to Home Affairs, gave it to Home Affairs. Till today, 3 years down the line, Home Affairs still says that they are adjudicating the matter. That is where the problem is. That is what we have to do. Institutional deficiencies is what we have to solve. And I'm sure that if we solve these problems, we'll move away from, attacking each other on the streets.
And lastly, how much does Ghana invest in South Africa? Please just look at him.
If you ask me, in February just this year, Ghana paid close to 627 million South African rents for foreign direct investment. When you look at South African businesses in Ghana, they sent close to 628 million just in the month of February. Access of how much did Ghana get out of South Africa? We got 2.9 million. So the trade deficit between Ghana and South Africa is close to 625 million rands per month. Look at how much they make in a year. So if you say that let's go and fix our economy, so if we decide to take over those businesses as Ghanaians, South Africa loses 626 million rands in a month. Is that what we want? Is that a trade that we want among ourselves? But Ghanaians can only take it to a certain level. And I also want to reiterate on this media that the vitriolics, the insults on leaders. Well, in Ghana, we are brought up to respect the elderly, to respect authority. That is why you don't see us engaging ourselves in name calling, in shaming and all of that. We are ensuring that we follow principles, we follow due processes. And I think that it is something that South Africans should also take seriously. Their civic education, it's so important so that we'll be able to move away from this behaviors.
For them to come and register their names because they are scared. Because the moment they started Kware style, then they have to divert the taxi somewhere. So how about them? What are the safety measures towards them, if necessary?
Se binom ye won krata wo krom ha. Ye pese ko Ghana no so bi. Ye sign wo adwuma kase wo krom ha. Ye pese ko Ghana because intimidation no edoso. Police ni kura timi ba wo adwuma mo nim so obi bia ye. But obefa kwan bia so agiska through ho ana so be intimidate ma that is whole day no ude no nyina ye basa. SSS aneba. Inti yesre papa say ono de owano okasa yetie se pa no mpese ya ye won krata no kra ye nko yekrumu a omo kan kire ye ntokwa bia nim ye ba yamfa yama ye betumi asenya akoye chiboko se be ye na ye no omunya anototu bia eye me denra me hu akola no a ukofa no free airport no me hu ye ne me kan ya ne say no akola na gu ani mas because what the misinformation the airport ho omo afili form no wo me group no nyina omo frɛ me am se mo ntwen papa no se ta mo so a obek ma mo tam na mo nyina ma airport nti obi an kan kyerɛ na wo di mirika na ko airport but anopa me se hu se wa ko fa no a wo no kasa no me kan ya ne se hallelujah papa na yi efre ni ngwase ni nyina mu nti me srew aduma papa na wo ya ne obetio ne wontie ye de mpaibo eta wachi.
So what we are seeing or witnessing is not something that is going to end today. Most of them have put these guys who are doing these demonstrations on a payroll, a strong one. So it's not something that's going to end today. I'm looking at a worst scenario as a business owner is in discussing with the ministry, the South African counterparts, if they can actually have a takeover plan of Ghanaian businesses, because at the DTI they've got a takeover regulatory panel where they will be able to give us offers so that they can take over those businesses to their local South Africans so that we can live peacefully. Because at times it's also so difficult having stayed for years running businesses and you just have to leave. And many of our staff are also leaving. And at the end of the day, how are we going to pay the rent?
I personally, I'm even ready to go back to Ghana, but because of certain situation, because my children are here, there's no way I can also leave them behind.
Refugee penny force at the end of the day would be to charge ho. Mouse campo 2000 engineer mouse 3 months betria na san renew and no cry mount. Na permit no so a yenye maw enti ya no omo accuse ye say Ghana for yem papers ya papa medinyame din sra bo say enye no kore eye womo na womo ma yenye nkrata na nka amfo obi hu so oba bua sika no kakra na ode ayede a ebe ma no ho ahe ha no ne watumi atena oman ni mu but yenya ne say enti no da bia na yemu bebre asem aye mobo.
Last year, me person me free chrome ha because situation had me buy my she, and I wanted to go back. I need to go back home because
we don't want to stay here. I'm sick and tired of this country. I should have been fed. Look at how I am. I have been working as a teacher in this country. Not that Ghanaians are illegal, but the Home Affairs forced most of them to be illegal. Because some of them have permanent status, which has been revoked. I have them here. Some have business permit. They came with business permit. They renewed here 3 times. At the end, the other renewals, they said fraudulent. There are some Ghanaians. There was a Ghanaian lady that was knocked down by a car. I took it upon myself to claim that we have something rough road accident fund. I pushed it to the end. I took a lawyer by myself. At the end of the payment, they said they have declined it.
Some of us outside Pretoria can't even travel by bus or their taxis, even for them to come and register their names because they are scared. Because the moment they started Kware style, then they have to divert the taxi somewhere. So how about them? What are the safety measures towards them, if necessary?
Se binom ye won krata wo krom ha. Ye pese ko Ghana no so bi. Ye sign wo adwuma kase wo krom ha. Ye pese ko Ghana because intimidation no edoso. Police ni kura timi ba wo adwuma mo nim so obi bia ye. But obefa kwan bia so ajiska through ho anasa obe intimidate ma that the whole day no ude no nyina ye basa SSS na eba nti yesre papa say ono de owano okasa yetie se pa no mpese ya ye won krata no kra ye nko yekrumu a omo kan kire ye ntokwa bia nim ye ba yamfa yama ye betumi asenya akoye chiboko se be ye na ye no omunya anototu bia eye me denra me hu akola no a ukofa no free airport no me hu ye ne me kan ya ne say no akola no agu ani mas because what the misinformation the airport ho omo affiliate form no wo me group no nyina omo frɛ me am se mo ntwen papa no say tam so a obek ma mo tam na mo nyina ma ba airport nti obi an kan kyerɛ na wo di mirika na wo airport but anopa me say hu say wa ko fa no a wo no kasa no me kan ya ne say hallelujah papa na yi efre ni nguase ni nyina mu nti me srew aduma papa na wo ya ne obetio ne wontie ye de mpaibo eta wachi ye ne sa amaye na you say you get to Kenya.
So what we are seeing or witnessing is not something that is going to end today. Most of them have put these guys who are doing these demonstrations on a payroll, a strong one. So it's not something that is going to end today. I'm looking at a worst scenario as a business owner is in discussing with the minister, the South African counterparts, if they can actually have a takeover plan of Ghanaian businesses, because at the DTI they've got the takeover regulatory panel where they will be able to give us offers so that they can take over those businesses to their local South Africans so that we can live peacefully. Because at times it's also so difficult having stayed for years running businesses and you just have to leave. And many of our staff are also leaving, and at the end of the day, how are we going to pay the rent?
I personally, I'm even ready to go back to Ghana, but because of certain situation, because my children are here,
there's no way I can also leave them behind.
Refugee enye ye pay yen pennies and so ya na e force say at the end of the day we be to charge ho. Ye ma usikampo 2000 ni engineer ma say 3 months betua na san renew enukra ye enye ma. Na permit no so a yenye ma. Enti ya no omo accuse ye say Ghana for yen papers ya papa midin sra mo say enye no kore. Eye womo na womo ma yenye nkrata. Na nka amfo obi hu so ba bua sika no kakra na ode ayede a ebe ma no ho ahe ha no ni watumi atena oman ni mo. But yenya ni senti no da bia na yemu bebre asem aye mobo.
So you see, one thing that I really like about this High Commissioner is that they are actually on ground and they are making sure everybody is safe. These things that is going on, honestly speaking, it is not just about illegal immigrants. It is about driving out every African from South Africa, because there was some checks that were done with, I think, some number of foreigners or African immigrants in South Africa, and those people, out of I think 400 or 4,000 or whatever number, only 2 were illegal. Only 2 were illegal. So just imagine processing all these people and checking them. Only 2 were illegal. That should tell you these people are not just pushing out illegal immigrants, but everyone, every African. That's their country. You can't do much. You understand? Even if you are illegal and they say go back to your country, just go. At the end of the day, we don't really know what they want to do. Probably they want to fix their country. They want to do whatever. But you know, I want South Africans to understand one thing is that people travel. Even Americans, they travel. People from Europe, they travel. No matter how beautiful, no matter how your economy is in the world, everybody travels. Ghana is not a country that probably you think, oh, Ghana is in tatters, Ghana is bad. Ghana is not a country like that. Ghana is very peaceful, even far, far more than South Africa. But people just want to travel. You can't just be, we have this belief that you can't just be in your own corner, probably grow up 40 years and you are just in your country. So people just want to travel to experience. Aside experiencing other places, they also have to work. You understand? So that is the actual reason why you see a lot of Ghanaians or even West Africans travel. It's not like Ghana, that like there is some crisis in Ghana. Check the news. Just check the news. Ghana is not in crisis. Ghana is not at war. There is nothing happening in Ghana. But people just want to travel. As I said, Europeans travel. Everybody travels. This is what you people need to understand. But it's your country and probably you want to fix your country or do something in your country. We understand. Whether we are legal or illegal, you just want us to leave, and we understand perfectly. But it's sad. All these things happening, it's just sad. It's just sad. And kudos to the Ghanaian foreign minister and also the ambassador. What they are doing, great work, and we hope these guys come home safely to Ghana so that we will not hear any bad thing happening to anyone. As you heard, there are 16,000, close to 16,000 Ghanaians in South Africa. So no matter what happens, it's not all Ghanaians that are going to leave South Africa. We also have South Africans in Ghana here. The question is South Africa in tatters? That's why these South Africans came to Ghana, you see? So we shouldn't do these things to ourselves as black people. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching.